Hi, I'm Suzie McNeil, and you're watching Canada.com Entertainment.
So I guess the first place we should start is where most people got to know you, which was on Rockstar.
Yes, household name.
Household name kind of shot you to fame. Is that sort of a double-edged sword? Is it good to thrust you out there, but also sort of haunt you a little bit when you're trying to do other things?
I think that there's definitely the potential for being on a reality show to sort of have a negative spin, but it never has for me. I mean, just generally the way that I live my life, there's no regrets, and I think that life is mainly just about experiences, so I just love every single one. I try to keep sort of grounded about life in that way. But the one thing that I did do, which was amazing, was open tons of doors for me in the entertainment industry specifically. And I've tried to enjoy and capitalize on all of that. So no regrets. I loved it. The experience itself is kind of weird, but it's been great since.
I mean, what did you learn from that experience that kind of prepared you for doing the CD and being in a show like this?
The main thing I learned from that experience was like a lot of media, to be honest, because in reality shows, they interview you all the time, and they always obviously have the cameras all over you, and you get really comfortable talking about yourself, and that changed for me. As far as performing goes, I'd say the main difference, or the thing that I learned, was to sort of never be nervous again, because I'm singing in front of millions of people, and not only that, but competing against other people. Like, it doesn't get much worse than that as far as being a singer.
Yeah.
So I can go in front of anyone now and sort of have the perspective like, oh, this is nothing, this is what I do.
And does it sort of give you some confidence before you go into a recording studio to know that I'm going to put out the CD and I'm sort of guaranteed that a certain number of people are going to know who I am? I don't have to fight as hard maybe as...
Yeah, definitely. Is again, with opening the doors that it did, but also it really actually gave me a good sense of value for fans and what true fans are, because it's been 2 years since Rockstar, and there's a lot of people out there that are still completely rooting for me and love it, and genuinely, and it really feels, it's probably one of the greatest feelings to know that you can actually touch someone like that. It's really cool.
Do you feel like your CD is a good reflection of you, though, and what you wanted to do, or is there something you'd go back and change if you had your way?
No, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't go back and change my CD. I think that it is a great reflection. I think my voice really shines on it. It sounds great. It's been captured very well, and I love rock and R&B and that kind of thing. I think if I was to do anything different, it will be on my next record, which is great. I mean, it just leaves room to experiment and go further and take more chances. But I love it as my debut CD, for sure.
Do you remember where you were when you first heard it on the radio?
I was in my sister's car, and I really took a moment, because you always hear about artists and the first time you've ever heard it on the radio, and frankly, it's a cliche, but it's a dream come true.
So I'm guessing because of your experience with Rockstar that are you a fan of the Idol shows and these shows that are sort of...
Not really.
No?
I didn't really watch them before, and I can't really watch them now.
But for a young person who's got a dream of being a singer, is it kind of the way to go?
I mean, I think it's a huge capacity for people to be discovered in a way that when I was a kid, never existed before. And a lot of people complain about it, like they're just churning out like the next thing. But it's community oriented. It's fan driven. It's fun. It's game shows, man.
And Toronto audiences are getting to know you through We Will Rock You.
Yeah.
The CD sort of came out at the same time the show.
It did. It came out.
Do you have any reservations about committing to the show and knowing that you're going to be performing so much and maybe not be able to give as much focus to the CD?
I did at first when I started to think about it. I mean, across the board, I really wanted to do We Will Rock You, so it was like kind of from the beginning, nothing was going to stop me. But I wanted the musical. I mean, the show is great because it's rock and music theater, so it sort of is perfect for me. But I also wanted the musical theater experience. I've always wanted to try it. It's been sort of like a childhood dream for me. But yeah, there was like, okay, the record's coming out. Can we do this? Can it work? And I think it's working out amazingly.
Do you ever, like, when you're up on stage here, are you like thinking about maybe throwing a plug-in for the album mid-song or something?
Like changing a lyric? And it's in stores now. No.
Are you sort of itching to get out there and play live for the CD?
Yeah, I'm excited to tour my record for sure. It deserves to be toured.
So is that going to happen?
Yes.
Soon?
Yeah.
And this is obviously online. Talk a bit about your internet experience. Are you able to go on enough and sort of communicate with fans, stay in touch with fans? Or?
Yeah, I mean, the internet is where it's at. Everything's going towards that, and I think especially for any artist, especially if you're an independent artist, it's like it's a godsend, and you can find things that you wouldn't be exposed to in any other way. Plus, there's a lot of feedback. Being an artist, you can see how you're affecting people, and the internet is like the thing.
But on the flip side of that, I guess it gives people a way to share your music that might not be legal. They may
That's
not be
true.
paying for
I mean,
it.
yeah,
Is that
that's
something
the
you think
business.
about, or?
Oh, definitely, because I think about it when records aren't selling and when record stores are closing and the whole thing. But it's like anything in life, any big change, you got to go with it. You can't just sit and complain about it. You got to work it and use it to your benefit. And potentially it hasn't been figured out yet, but I think it's in the process of it. It just makes me want to do sort of more on my own and own it all and do it all, and,